For Mesilla Valley, better together. Joey Hernandez here with you today. Hopefully, you're having a great day. And I'm excited because today we get to welcome some special guests joining me in the studio today. And I'm always excited to be able to talk to this guy because we get to talk about a lot of stuff going on. And I'm actually going to go ahead and hand him his microphone right there. And then I'm going to have Ethan go ahead and pull that one up there. Joining us in the studio today, of course, joining us from the Bureau of Land Management, we got my good friend, Bill joining us. Morning, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning.
How's everything going? Keeping busy these days? How you been?
Well, we're making it.
We're making it.
Settling in, trying to learn this area, and being new to Las Cruces and New Mexico, like I told you the last time I was here. But loving the BLM, loving the area, and things are going great.
And you guys have had a lot of stuff going on as of late. Keeping up with your social media. I think that's one thing that we need to start off with is they can follow the BLM Las Cruces page. You keeping everybody up to date.
Yes, one of the reasons we came here today is because the post that we have right now,
Hmm.
effective today, and listen up, Las Cruces, we need your help. We need volunteers because effective today, the Dripping Springs Natural Area Visitor Center is going to be closed on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
The site is still going to be open, but we are having to close those 2 days because we do not have a site host. So we're asking the community to come out, volunteer to be a day host or resident site host. And I've brought with me today Ethan Gutierrez. He's our volunteer coordinator for the Bureau of Land Management here in Las Cruces District, and he can tell you the differences between the two and some of the other areas where you can come out and volunteer. We
Uh,
really need the community to step up and help us.
Very nice. Ethan, welcome to the show. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing wonderful. It's nice to be here.
So, talk to us a little bit about your role and as far as what you got going on.
All right, so I'm the volunteer coordinator. Basically, what I do is recruit, vet, and basically hire people, pair them up with a supervisor, and that's kind of my deal. So what we're looking for here at Dripping Springs is day hosts and site hosts. Now, the difference between those, your day host is going to be someone typically local who's going to show up, probably about 4 hours a day or out of the week, about typically a minimum of 4 hours, and they'll go and they'll work the visitor center. And I'm trying to bring in more locals to the area just so that way they can really share their experiences, and they got a lot of roots here to share with a lot of our visitors, and we get people from around the world visiting our sites and also volunteering. Now, the site hosts are actually resident hosts. They live typically on site,
Okay.
and it's 6 months to a year depending on what ends up working out. And yeah, they open and close the site and live in our government housing is provided at Dripping Springs, of course, no cost to them. And we have three other sites that we have people come and bring their RVs, and they actually live out of
Oh,
them at
wow.
those sites. Yeah, it's really cool.
And that was one of the things that you just mentioned right now. I think that is a great point of view for those that have grown up in this area to be volunteers because you do get to talk about those experiences, especially growing up in the area. Maybe they have memories or maybe certain things that happened over the time that they've lived here. They're able to share those experiences with visitors that are coming from all across the country.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it's wonderful, and I mean, I have ties here as well. I'm just from down the road in Socorro, so I
Okay.
got plenty of these stories myself, and I always enjoy sharing them with people. And I'm sure locals would have the same.
So, for those that are interested in becoming a volunteer, what would be the first step? So, someone that's say watching this today or listening to us on the radio, what would be the first step that they would need to take to volunteer or to get involved in some way or to some capacity?
Yeah, I mean, the best way is contact me via email or call the office. They can direct them towards
Okay.
me if they ask about it. But a big one is volunteer.gov.
Okay.
Now, if they go there, any position that's open will be flown there. And it's not only here in off of our Las Cruces district, but that's nationwide. BLM, Park Service, Forest Service, anyone who's looking for volunteers, it's run through that. So make a profile, if you see someone you're interested, volunteer
Mhm.
and check it out and call those people. find out the details, because each site's going to be unique, you know.
Yeah. And let me ask, we mentioned, people from all over the country come to this area. What has been, have you by chance heard any amazing stories from someone that's maybe not from here? Now, I know oftentimes I hear from friends that maybe aren't so used to such open space. They grow up in big cities that when they come out here, they're like, you mean to tell me that you wake up to that view every day? They're like, I have to stare at a Starbucks when I open up my window. What are some stories that maybe you have heard from some people that have maybe visited the area that end up living here after, maybe they come out here and then they're just like, wow, you know what? This is where I want to be in this area. What are some stories you've heard maybe?
All right, here's one I heard about 3 days ago.
Okay.
This family just got up and left it, and they were on somewhere on the east, from the east, you know, and they were traveling around, and the first place they hit was Cloudcroft, New Mexico, and they just absolutely fell in love with it, and it was literally their first destination that they stopped at, and they traveled the rest of the west, and they came back. And they said,
Wow.
we found a spot. We're looking for a home right now, and this is it.
Yeah.
That's one example. Now I got site hosts at Three Rivers, which it's a Three Rivers petroglyph site. Really amazing place. Thousands of petroglyphs, and you can just go straight up to them. There's no ropes or anything keeping you away. And what they did is they're actually from Florida, and they sold their house, everything, got in their RV, and came and volunteered. They just drove
Wow.
straight out here, and actually that's a common story with a lot of people. And what they'll do is they'll bounce from site to site, you know, 6 months here, a year there, 6 months there, and people seem to really, really enjoy that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, moving, from a small community to moving to Las Cruces, just one of the things to know that it's still, I get a sense of home for me. Growing up in the Boot Hill in Hidalgo County, having so much open space, and then coming out here, that even though you're still in a city, you're just a few minutes driving out to where then you got, Dripping Springs. You can take a trip out to Cloudcroft, to Riadoso. There's just so much that I think oftentimes we take for granted, just the great things that we have in this community. I actually have a coworker of ours who's actually said that this year he plans to visit many sites throughout New Mexico, because he says a lot of people want to travel to other states. He's like, but there's just so many things going on here in New Mexico, and just some of the different sites that we got to appreciate this just a little bit more. And Bill, we in the past have talked about just some of the different places that there are, and talk a little bit about just, BLM and just kind of the importance they play to all of this, to making sure that we still appreciate and get to enjoy all these things.
Well, that's one of the things that people need to understand about the Bureau of Land Management is we're actually here to, it is your land.
Mm-hmm.
It is public land, and we're here to manage it. And we have a lot of sites within the district of well over 5 million acres that we have to cover in all of Southwest, basically southern New Mexico, really. But the other sites that we have, for example, like Ethan mentioned, the Three Rivers petroglyph site, that's north of here, close to Alamogordo and Riadoso. It's a very nice place. Aguirre Springs. Aguirre Springs, on the backside of the Oregon Mountains, is a campground where you can come in, pitch your tent, or you can bring your RV, and just come in, park, and hike. We have facilities there. We also have site hosts there as well, and also we have Lake Valley. Lake Valley, which is about 30 minutes?
About 30 minutes out of Hatch.
Okay.
Minutes out of Hatch. That's the historic township. That's a unique place to walk through. And then we have quite of other areas available. Those 4 areas have the need for site hosts, but we also have the Continental Divide Trail that we're working on, trying to get the right of ways with that, where we can actually open that up here within the 52-mile stretch within our district. We also have the I can't think of the name of the trail. Cody's going to kill me.
Keep in mind, there's several trails, but
the one that's parallel to 70. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Can I touch base real quick on the Continental Divide?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're working with the Continental Divide Trail Coalition. And
Okay.
we are looking for volunteers as well to basically adopt segments of it, and they walk it, make sure the signage is right, and I mean, just it's like the adopt a highway program, like
Mhm.
picking up trash, making sure the trail's good, and a lot of people are extremely passionate, and the Continental Divide Trail is just such a huge staple of the U.S. and it's one of honestly, it's probably one of the most unique trails in the U.S. Alongside the Pacific Crest and the Appalachian Trail.
And there's just so many ways for I feel like with getting involved with the community. I think this is one of those things where I don't think many members of the community know how to get, or what's the first step to get involved. Volunteering, being a site host. There's just so many ways that I think this is the perfect opportunity for those that are especially interested in being outdoors. Maybe their thing is that I know oftentimes you hear that like, man, if I could be out here on a permanent basis, I would. Well, there's your chance to do it, especially with being a site host or even being a volunteer. These opportunities are there that I think this is the first step to let members of our community know that it's available for them to be able to enjoy and to be a part of. And you mentioned the Continental Divide. I mean, I think that's a big part, a big role, and something that if we're preserving it now, it's for the next generation to enjoy, and for future generations to continue and enjoy. And I think this is where it all starts, for letting them know how to get involved and how to volunteer, or to be involved in some capacity.
Just remembered, it's the El Camino Real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That big trail that runs through. I'm still new to New Mexico, so I've been here less than a year, so we're still learning these things. But a lot of our hikes are volunteers actually lead our hikes through a docent program through the Friends of the Oregon Mountain Desert Peaks. We also have, that's a nonprofit group here that we lean on heavily, that actually helps us with some projects, and the day hikes that we have are really led by a lot of volunteers. The prehistoric trackways that's right here in town as well
Mhm.
is another area that we have biking out there, equestrian riding. There's hiking where you can actually see the seabed floor from
Okay.
280 million years ago. You're standing on the ground where the bottom of the ocean 280 million years ago, which I thought was kind of cool when I went out there. There's also OHV trails that you can ride out in that area as well. So we have a lot of things here within our district recreationally, but we really need the community's help, because who else can actually tell about this Las Cruces other than people who from Las Cruces themselves?
Mhm. Yeah, I know. And that's a thing that I've taken to, especially with now living here for almost going on 18 years, is there's still much to learn about, the land, and even some of the different, areas. I love to be outdoors. I love to go outside. I love to take the family camping. The wife, not as much. The wife says, what's it, glamping? She's like, if we go glamping, that's fine. She says, but the camping, she's like, okay, maybe 1 or 2 days, not a whole week. Like you, I know you like to, but I think that's one of those great opportunities for those that have lived here their whole lives, to those that are, moved here and now have been here for so much time. They've established families here. There's still a lot to learn, with our public lands and just what's around us. I tell you, I'm always fascinated. And then when I talk to you, Bill, it's like I feel like I'm learning something. And I wanted to ask you, what has been the takeaway from you now being here a couple of months? What have you enjoyed about this area? Now, being here and getting to learn about, last time we talked about some of the different areas you were going to be going to, but what have you enjoyed about it? You personally?
Oh, wow. I don't even know where to start.
And that's usually how it goes. They're like,
Yeah.
where do you start? Like,
it's like when I was talking to Gino, made a comment over there when we was in the other studio that, people always ask, there's nothing to do. Oh, there are lots of things to do in this town. I mean, there's my wife and I, we go out every weekend and we're booked. We're almost, so many things to do. We went and picked peaches not too long ago. We're going to go pick apples this weekend. We went to the chili festivals. I'm starting to get in a taste for green chili.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
Because that's usually the first question, right? That we ask anybody: is it red or green, and
Is it
you
red or
prefer hot?
green?
I mean, it's a question that you have to ask somebody that moves into town. I don't know how many friends that we've had move in from the East Coast, and they're like, "Okay, have you tried chili?" Well, not yet. Trust me, you'll
And
grow to love it.
I like the Christmas sauce on my platters. So I like a little bit of both.
That's my favorite
So-
thing to say.
Yeah.
Here is it's always Christmas in
It's
New
always
Mexico.
Christmas in
Always.
Mexico.
But okay, so back to the volunteering, and for those that are wanting to get involved, those that are watching us this morning or listening to us today, if they want to get involved, they want to volunteer, they want to be, however they can get. How can they get involved? I know we mentioned volunteer, the website,
Yes.
but there's many ways, and there's ways to keep an eye out for anything that's going on with you guys.
Absolutely, and that just scratches the surface. I mean, with what we're talking about. But yeah, you can call the office. You can go to my email and contact me. Call my office phone. If I don't answer, leave a message. I will get back to you. But I mean, we work with a lot of other groups. Like Bill was saying, we work with the Friends Group. We work with the Southern New Mexico Trail Alliance, the Continental Divide Trail Coalition, Native Plant Society, member of SciWatch, and those are just a couple of other organizations that we deal with. And I mean, some of these, you have to make a little bit of a commitment. Now, we also have like these day cleanups where people come out just for a couple hours. We get together, we have a specific site in mind, and we'll clean it up. For example, we have National Public Lands Day coming up towards the end of September, and we'll fly something there. But what we're planning right now is going out to a mountain and cleaning up all the hiking trails out there. And what we do is we'll bring gloves, trash bags, a truck to load everything in, and we'll just have everybody run around and pick up trash and work on the trail, and we all get together and really build that sense of community.
And this is a perfect opportunity to call out, organizations, especially on the campus of New Mexico State University, looking to give back, those that are looking to do public service, whether you're an organization on campus, whether you're a business here in Las Cruces. I think these are the perfect opportunities. I know Adams Radio has participated in the past in, whether it was doing some cleanups or whether it's getting the word out about events that are coming out. I think this is the perfect opportunity where you would see the community come together. So putting the word out there, I think this is a great opportunity for many to come together. And whether it's a cleanup day or a volunteer, like, the situation with Dripping Springs, I think this is the perfect opportunity to call out to the community and see how we can, get the public involved and, taking care of business and helping out.
That's one of the reasons we came here.
Yeah.
When I posted this announcement on our Facebook page, it went almost viral because it was massively shared amongst a lot of people within the community. So I know people are out there.
Yeah.
We just asking them to come and help us out.
And Bill,
Because you're helping yourself.
Yeah.
It's your public land.
And like I mentioned, it's one of those things where it's something that we get to enjoy. I mean, we are so fortunate to be able to enjoy a lot of these great things that are in our very backyard that, when you see something like this, it's a call out to the community and see what efforts the community can put forward. Bill, I always appreciate our conversations. I know there's always so much that you can, bring to the table to let us know. And then bringing guests like Ethan. I look forward to many visits, and I'm sure you got guests lined up for us in the near future, and a lot to talk about.
September's coming around the corner, and that's the Monuments to Main Street.
Yeah, and last week we did have. You gave me a call, and you were telling me about it was No Fee Day, which I thought was really neat. Just to let people know, I know it passed, but tell people a little bit about what No Fee Day was and just kind of the history behind it.
Well, No Fee Day is national.
Yeah.
The Department of Interior set aside certain days throughout the year that
Mhm.
they designate special, where you're not paying entrance fees to any of the public parks
Mhm.
in the National Park Service, as well as the BLM recreational sites.
Yeah.
And you still have to. This basically is no entrance fee. There's no parking fee that
Yeah.
you normally would have to pay. So you could drive to La Cueva and just get out in your car and walk.
Yeah.
That's an example.
Yeah, no, and that's the best time to go out. And I think it was just perfect because there was still some kiddos that still wanted to enjoy the last minutes of summer vacation. Yeah. And they were like, okay, let's, and just to be able to jump in the car and take that road trip and enjoy the great outdoors.
That was for the Greater Outdoors Day.
Yeah.
You know, we've got Public Lands Day coming up in September. There's going to be a special day set aside for no fees. And we'll have more information on that the next time we're here, along with the community outreach we're going to be doing, and where you can come out and see more of the antelope.
That's right.
I dropped a few hints here this morning. So,
Bill, if they have any questions, if they want to learn more, of course, they can follow you on the social medias.
Follow us on our Facebook page, the Bureau of Land Management, Las Cruces District. We're fortunate. I'm actually fortunate that I'm the only district in the entire Bureau of Land Management in any of the 50 states that has its own Facebook page. Most states only have one that covers their entire state.
Yeah, so you need to make sure you follow that page, and you will get more details about the Dripping Springs volunteer. If they would like to volunteer, you'll be able to get more information there. We'll also, in the comments of this video, we'll also make sure to attach those links as well. For that way, if you have any questions, you can get in contact with Bill. You can learn more with Ethan and other things that are going to be coming up with the Bureau of Land Management. For Mesilla Valley, better together. This is Joey Hernandez. Remember to follow us on our social medias. You can follow us on Your Country 103.9 KGRT, Today's Hottest Music Hot 103, Classic Rock 98.7, as well as Cool Oldies 104.5 and AM 570. For Joey Hernandez here, signing off from Mesilla Valley, better together.